You said you enjoy being a hoe. You enjoy taking and making your own adult content to sell. You have a high functioning career. You want to talk about OF girls that are doing it for the love of the game. So you're doing it for the love of the game. Okay. You want to talk more about the nuance of it. Many of the women I've seen die? Wait, many of the women, so this is when you're a critical care nurse. Many of the women you have seen die, like literally die, verbalize wishing they had more sex, or more, well, you said more playful sex.
Yeah, just more intimacy, connection, general sex, things like that.
Just to be clear, you're in the hospital and some chick's bleeding out. She's fucking dying, right? She got a gunshot to the fucking vagina. She's bleeding out. She's dead. She's dying. And she's like, I wish I fucked more.
I mean, not quite like that, but people really do tell you like the things that they wish they did and didn't hold on to.
Have you done hospice shit? Hospice stuff?
If you're lucky, you make it to hospice. But
is that where the money is? I don't know.
Well, no, it's just more dignified.
What is that?
It's not fun dying in the hospital.
I'm a little ignorant.
Hospice is like typically where people go who have like a very short amount of time to live.
Oh.
Or you can be at home. That's ideal, really, if you have the support.
Yeah, but then there's like
people already know they're about to die in like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like,
or
I don't think the people on their deathbed are like, man, I wish I fucked more.
They don't word it that way. That's so weird.
That's what you wrote, though.
Well, what did they say?
They say that they wish that they were more either experimental,
you said explored
or more
their
playful. Yeah, adventurous, explored more things that
they're not missing out on anything.
It's like that guy, the Mount Vesuvius guy. Have you seen that in the eruption? No, the guy who died in the Mount Vesuvius eruption, and he was masturbating, and it's just coated. He's just coated in lava. But yeah, it was last minutes before he died. He had to get it in.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And guys usually say that they wish they didn't hold so many grudges. That's what you usually hear.
The overwhelming majority of people who are dying, I very much doubt, are revealing to you the secrets that they want to just diddle more chicks in more special ways. I'm guessing that most of the things they talk about is, I wish I had spent more time with my family, or I wish I had done this at various adventures and this and that. I doubt that sex is the primary thing that they're talking to you about on their deathbed.
Well, do they know about your hobbies?
What?
No.
She's not like.
I think it depends. It depends on the personality of whoever's on their deathbed.
She's not like they're about to die and she's like, oh yeah, I like let guys stomp on me for $400 an hour.
She doesn't.
She's like, we got 1 hour, $400.
How are you spend your money now.
You also wrote. Related to the previous things that I read here. This is the main reason you embrace your wholeness, and for OF and fetish sessions, you believe in autonomy and the individual and think tradition works for some but not all. When it comes to tradition, you said you disagree with your takes of tradition being the best way for people to live their lives. I also don't think anyone can say their religion is the correct one over others. I think this is kind of what I wanted, Andrew. There might be a few more things here, but I think probably this is a big disagreement that you have with Andrew. So she says she disagrees with takes about tradition being the best way, the most optimum way for people to live their lives.
Yeah, well, she said for most, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say for most, or you think some people it is, some people it isn't? Is that the more nuanced perspective? Well, why don't you tell me your perspective?
Well, she said the best way for people to live their lives.
Yeah, well, what is the best way for people to live their lives?
I think that's individual to them. That's my whole point, is I don't think that there's like specific religious structures or things like that are, you must live your life this way to have a quality life, or like be a good person. So people live their lives not murdering other people? Well, no, but that's objectively harming people. Me being a hoe isn't harming anyone because everyone's consenting.
Why is objectively harming people bad?
What do you mean?
Why is it bad?
Why is murdering someone bad?
Yeah.
Because you're ending a life? I mean,
So, why is that bad? Explain to me why that's bad without using a religious view.
Yeah, it negatively affects society if you just go around
So what?
murdering
Why is
people.
negatively affecting society bad?
Because it's negative to the general cohesive structure of society.
You're just restating the question.
Functioning well.
I know that you think, listen, when I ask you why a thing is, you can't just restate the position. I know your position is that it's harm and harm bad. I'm asking you why harm is bad. And I'm asking you to tell me the justification for that, not using a religious view. So from your non-religious view, why is harming people even bad?
I would say, well, I don't think being a hoe is harmful, which is my general point. I think that doing
that's
harmful
not what
things.
I asked you why harming people is bad.
I think doing harmful things is negative for the general construct of society and everyone cooperating and living in that cooperative society.
Why is that bad?
What do you mean? Because people don't do well in societies when it's all spread out.
Yeah,
and
but
people
why
don't
is
have
it
community.
good? Why do we need people to do good? So the thing is like, you just keep on restating it's bad because it's bad because it's bad because it's bad. But why is it bad? So from my view, it's bad because God said, no, you're not allowed to do that, right? Here's your objective standard. It's immoral to do this. It's evil. Your standard for why it's bad is?
It's negative to the social construct that we
why
all
is
cooperatively.
That bad? But
What do you?
why
How
is
is
that
okay?
bad?
How is just going around murdering people not negatively impacting the social
It negatively
construct?
impacts. I agree with you, but why is that bad?
Why would it be good?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I'm telling you, what
Well, I think that the word bad and the word good are religious words. I think evil is a religious connotation. It has nothing to do, like, why? What is it? If all morals are just socially relative, then nothing's evil. That's just made up. So even you're saying this is just a social construction, and it's bad for the social construction. It's like, yeah, but why is that actually bad? Like, if you had another place where murder was totally legal within the social construct and everybody was getting along just fine, would that be bad?
No, because you wouldn't think it would be bad at that point.
Let her answer.
I think it
please.
depends if it's oppressive to other people. So, for example, like gladiators, if you were forced to be a gladiator, that's bad. But a lot of gladiators liked being gladiators because it was a good way for them to make money.
Well, what made it bad, though?
Them being forced to do it against their will, them just fighting in an arena is not bad.
Everybody in society likes that. What's wrong with it?
There was nothing wrong with that in that time period until people
there's
changed
nothing wrong
their
with it. So it's
views
like,
on
can't
the
be bad.
social construct they wanted to adhere by.
Yeah, so how could that be bad?
That's what are you saying?
I'm saying you have no
Murder
standard for
used to
bad.
not be bad,
There's
and
no
now it
reason
is
for you to
bad.
believe the only reason you think murder is bad is because you think so. That's it. That's your only standard for it.
That's your
I
only
think
standard
bad,
for-
therefore bad.
But that's your only standard if you're going to use the context of religion for people who are not religious.
Yeah, but we have an unchanging standard. Your standard changes. So you called it yourself a social construction, which means that construct can change. My construct can't. It's an objective set of values which are unchanging, and you borrow them. So therefore, I think that my value structure, which you are borrowing, is far superior to your value structure, which I'm not borrowing.
Okay, I don't know that much about religion, but Old Testament said different things from New Testament. Didn't religious beliefs change in Christianity as well, or am I wrong?
No, Christianity is still an unchanging standard to the religion itself. The Christianity has an unchanging set of value structures. We cannot change it, right? So we can't just go, oh, okay, well, murder is okay, actually, and this is okay, actually. But in your view, as long as I can present to you a society in which nobody cares, right, you can't actually say that that's bad, right?
It's not about no one caring. It's about how is it impacting the general welfare of society.
If nobody cares, it can't be affecting it negatively, can it?
Yeah, then it wouldn't have negative effects.
Let me give you an example. There's a small island, you might have heard of it, called Papua New Guinea. On this island, Papua New Guinea, there are what are known as the cum warriors of Papua New Guinea, and here's how this works. Not kidding, you can look this up, I'm not making it up. What they do is a rite of passage for all of the boys in Papua New Guinea. They make them do bad acts, okay? Now the boys seem to absolutely adore this. It's a rite of passage, they love it, they think it's great, they can't wait to go do it, okay? So tell me, since there's no negative ramifications, the boys themselves are demanding it, it's a rite of passage in that culture, why is that bad?
Are they doing bad acts against another person?
What is a bad act?
You just said bad acts. I don't know what that means.
They do bad things. From my view, they do. The problem with this is the language is so confining on YouTube. They diddle kids, boys, young boys, as a rite of passage to manhood, and the young boys demand that they do so.
But that is harming
demand
someone.
it. Okay, prove the harm. What's the harm?
I don't think I could say what the harm is on here.
What's the harm?
I don't think I could say the word.
What's the word?
Essay of a minor.
Yeah, but what makes it that, other than your social construct?
I think that everyone can agree essay against a minor is bad, and they have
So
throughout
all
most of
morals come
history.
from-
And
so
honestly, there's a little
so
bit of
all
time in
your
which they didn't
morals-
believe
so
that,
all
and then
your
people
morals
changed their
come from-
mind.
So all of your morals come from agreement.
My morals come from not what a book says, but what logically makes sense for the positive cohesiveness of a general society.
That society is completely positively cohesive. There's nobody who's being harmed by their metric. All of them are agreeing to do this, and they all demand to do it, and they all love doing this. What's the actual harm here?
I don't think that essaying minors is good or allowed, so I would say
Yeah,
that
you're
is
not.
the harm.
That's just question begging. You're just restating the thing we already know. It's bad because it's bad because it's bad. I want to know why. Why is it bad if all of them are agreeing to it?
Minors can't agree. What do you mean?
Well, like, okay, minor itself's a social construct, right?
Well, that's how they grew up. They grew up seeing one thing and believing one thing and
Right.
getting. So that's why they think it's okay. Like, do we think it's
Right.
okay that that happens there? No. But do they
I
think it's
agree.
okay that that happens there? Yes.
But if the principle is harm, and you can't demonstrate any harm happening, then how can you say it's bad?
But I think you could demonstrate harm happening if
Then-
people
then-
actually
then
went
what
there
is
and
the
did
harm?
that.
I think the harm is what she means. Okay, I might be wrong, but bad is in a way how it affects the other person at the end of the day. I mean, like what you put in how you started the conversation was by murder, I guess you should say. But I don't think they agreed to be murdered or how someone being murdered can affect
these
the
kids
other
do agree
party
to this,
being
though.
murdered.
They
So
do-
that's what
they
makes
do
it
agree to
bad.
it. Yeah, these kids do agree to it.
What, being just walking
It's
around
part
the
of
street
their-
and being
yeah, it's part of
murdered?
their-
Like, I don't
it's
see how they agree to
literally
that.
Saying
part
that the
of their
minors are agreeing
culture.
to essay,
I
but
know that
fundamentally
this is
minors
going-
But that's on
essay.
Puckahookland,
Just try-
we are
just try
here
and
in
listen.
America.
Listen more than you talk, so I can explain,
You explained it.
so that you understand.
You keep repeating.
You're saying harm bad, things that harm bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? However, in this case, if you were to go in and break that up, that would do a lot of harm. That's their culture.
Yeah.
So if you went in there with force and broke it all up and said you're not allowed to do this anymore, they would actually fight with you over it. So is it actually less harmful to let them keep doing that, or more harmful to go in and stop it?
I would say in that specific situation, yes, because you're doing more harm by going in and disrupting an entire culture that you are a part of. If they came
So-
over here and were trying to essay minors, yeah, I'm going to have a problem with that.
So then what you just made was a harm argument for essay of children.
Well, no, I'm
just
generally
based on
saying I
harm-
don't agree
So just
with
based
it.
on harm, you can justify the essay of children. That's why your fucking standard sucks, and my mine is good. Because you, yourself, can, with the harm principle, justify the essay of children. My worldview will not account or allow for that, and that's why it's superior to yours.
Can I say that your state of mind is because of what you believe in as a religion, but can we not say that our state of mind is based on our government and the laws that we live by? So it wouldn't be ours is by law, why we have these beliefs is by what is given by the government to us, and yours is a religion given by a god.
But say a government makes murder legal.
Legal.
Does that
We couldn't abide by
automatically
that
A
law.
government
make it
does
fine?
euthanasia.
Yes, that's why
and
exactly
other
his
things.
example is an island that it's legal to do that to children. So if our government one day says that we can do that, like it has once in the past, he also states that we did murder people in the past. If it becomes legal again, it becomes our normal society. So which means we would not be bad in that case because
Which-
we
hang on,
believe
I
that
agree-
it's bad
I
because
agree
given
with
law.
Everything you're saying, I agree with everything that you're saying, and that's what makes
Yeah.
our view superior. What makes it superior?
You
is our
believe in
standard
God and we
of
believe
thinking.
in the law.
Even if the government says, "Hey, this thing that you." Right, would even say probably right now, due to your cultural context, bad. If they changed that, right, you would adhere to those laws and those things because morality to you is changeable. For us, it's not changeable.
Well,
So
it's
we
also
would say,
subject-
no, this is still not going to happen regardless.
It's also subjective to like data logic research that creates these laws. There's not enough data logic behind the Bible for me to just believe that blindly.
Who cares? But why do you even need that? Like,
I
let's
don't
just
need
say
that,
for
and
a
that's my
second.
point.
Let's just say for a second you don't believe it. You don't believe any of it. You think it's all just fairy tales and fables and sky fairy and bearded magic man in the sky, that's irrelevant. The ethics themselves provide better value for humanity than any secular ethics, because secular ethics are changeable.
Right.
There's not a single Christian ethic that you would disagree with, except perhaps LGBTQ stuff. Other than that, there's probably not even a single one you would disagree with. Probably not even one. So ultimately, even from a harm reductionist standpoint, it's still better for society. So even from your view, it's better.